things look easy. The G League Ignites Scoot Henderson is doing just that with this dunk last night. He's just 18 years old, another top prospect in the upcoming NBA draft. Dang, that is nasty. Now let's look at where Scoot lands on the top 10 NBA prospects list. That is according to CBS Sports writer Kyle Boone. He's coming in at number 2, only behind number 1, Victor Wembanyama. Bama's Brandon Miller rounding out the top 3. All right, and let's welcome in Kyle Boone to break down the 2023 top NBA prospects. Kyle, we're going to start with number 1 on your list, Victor Wembanyama, who, by the way, is turning 19 today. So happy birthday, Wemby, if you're watching this. Wemby, that's his nickname, right? Okay,
That's right.
got some incredible physical tools, 7'4", 8-foot wingspan. Let's play some hypotheticals here, Kyle. If he was playing in college basketball, how would he compare to everybody else on the court?
Yeah, he'd not only be running away from the competition, he'd be in a full sprint ahead of everyone in college basketball. He's playing in the L&B Pro A, which is a really good international professional league. He's leading that league in scoring. He's leading the league in rebounding. He's leading the league in block shots. And oh, by the way, he just won MVP honors in the All-Star game this past weekend. So even if he was playing in the Big 12, the SEC, the Big East, he would clearly be the National Player of the Year frontrunner. What Wembanyama is doing as an 18-year-old, now a 19-year-old as of today, is something that, frankly, we have not seen before. And I talked to NBA scouts who have scouted his game, and they think that clearly he would be the best player in college basketball, and it would not be particularly close. The impact that he brings on both offense and defense just can't be overstated.
Yeah, so Wemby projected to go number 1 overall, and drafted 2nd overall in last year's draft, 7'1", Chet Holmgren. Kyle, how does Wemby differ from Chet?
You know, they're very similar when you look at their body types, right? Chet is a 7-footer, Victor is a 7-footer. But I asked an NBA scout this exact question: how do you compare the two? And there's a lot of similarities, right? Their movement skills are pretty similar. The way that they can create is pretty similar. The way they can block shots is pretty similar. But you know, the scout said, listen, like the movement and the fluidity, the way in which Victor moves his hips, the subtleties in which he is able to turn and run, just a little bit different, and in a good way. Just a different athlete, a different type of prospect. And Chet is a really good prospect and player in his own right. Wemby, though, is just in a league of his own.
All right, number 2 on the big board, you got Scoot Henderson. We just showed you that awesome dunk that he had last night. And Kyle, you tweeted out that Scoot is, quote, a very, very nice consolation prize for whichever team finishes runner-up in the Wemby sweepstakes. So what are scouts saying about Scoot?
Yeah, that he would be the number 1 pick in almost every other NBA draft class. And Victor Wembanyama was kind of asked this too, like, how do you view Scoot Henderson? He said, well, you know, like he would be the number 1 pick in this class had I not been born. So I think that gives you kind of a snapshot into the confidence with which Victor carries himself, but also the way in which a lot of people view Scoot, which is he is a no doubt top 5 prospect. I think he's the clear number 2 in this class. He has great size for a guard. You see the competitive spirit with which he plays. The dunk that he threw down last night was just nasty. He plays with a competitive edge that I think a lot of NBA teams are really, really excited about. And the way he can create on offense, create his own shot, but also create for others as a combo guard, I think is going to translate really nicely to the NBA level.
And Kyle, number 3 on the list, Brandon Miller. We all got a nice little preview of his talents and Bama's win over Ole Miss. Something that I think is so crazy in the preseason big board rankings, Kyle, he wasn't even on the list, right?
Yeah, hands up here. This is on me. I wanted to see more from Brandon Miller before I put him on the top 30. And look, I've seen more, and I love what I see. This is a guy who had a 5-star resume, credentials, but I had not seen him in person, so I was not ready to rank him in my top 30. He is clearly one of the best players in college basketball, regardless of classification. I love his size at 6'9". His shooting ability at his size, that combination is really, really special. He's shooting 44.1% from the three-point line this season. He's not an explosive athlete, but you've seen him, the way he's able to create on offense. He's a really smooth athlete, can get to his shots, has a really high IQ. I have him number 3 on the big board. It might be too aggressive, But after not having him on the preseason big board, I think it's only right to compensate just a little bit. So comfortable having him in the top 5 in this class right now.
All right, that is CBS Sports writer Kyle Boone talking about the latest NBA draft prospects. Thank you so much, Kyle, for your time. We appreciate it here on CBS Sports HQ. Getting a look at tonight's notable college basketball games, you got number 16 Duke taking on NC State. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. TCU and Baylor, that is in the 9 p.m. slate. Also number 4 UConn, they're favored by -5 against Providence at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.